You think about a leader and everybody, think about the perception of your company is you. How you see and how you manage your individuals is all about you. So it's always, to me, important to work on the leader first, and then everything trickles down. Things don't normally trickle up, it's going to come down.
Welcome to the New Talent Playbook Podcast, your go-to resource for building exceptional teams and thriving businesses. Each episode delivers actionable insights on harnessing offshore talent, integrating innovative technology, cultivating a vibrant company culture, and attracting and retaining top performers. Subscribe now to never miss an episode. For more resources, visit thenewtalentplaybookpodcast.com, where you can download this episode's free workbook designed to help you apply today's insight to your business. And now, here's your host, Rob Levin.
Today, I'm here with Curtis McCullom, a mindset transformation coach who helps CEOs, founders, and entrepreneurs eliminate the blind spots that quietly limit their income, confidence, and freedom. Through his LGET Mindset framework, which stands for Learn, Grow, Expand, Transform, Curtis combines tools like NLP, mental emotional release, and hypnotherapy to reprogram subconscious patterns and create lasting transformation. He's also the host of The Curtis McCullom Show, where he interviews top leaders about success, mindset, and personal growth. Curtis, great to have you here, and let's dive right in.
Hey, thank you for having me, Rob, man. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Terrific. Jumping right in, you work with a lot of business owners and other leaders. What's one of the biggest, or maybe the biggest blind spot that you find most leaders have today?
I think when it comes down to it is that feeling of not being authentic, or that feeling of, believe it or not good enough, not worthy, not capable. Even though they've had a lot of success, that still dragging feeling, still sometimes they still have that feeling that they haven't made it, or there's still something there that they remember or feel that they feel like they're not good enough or not worthy.
And I don't want to assume that this is obvious, because I don't think it is. How does that affect the leader when they're leading an organization?
The way it affects them is, you think about a blind spot. My philosophy is that a blind spot, everybody has a blind spot, right? Everybody has something in their life that actually stops them from being who they want to become. A blind spot becomes a challenge when it then stops you from now moving forward. You want to go from 6 figure to 7 figures, or you want to go from whatever you want to go to, now is something that's blocking you. So then it shows up is how you react or respond to situations. Usually, I'll give you an example, would be a perfect scenario. I'm driving, somebody cuts me off, and they cut me off, and I said, oh, shoot, they cut me off. That's fine. Then that's fine. That's not a blind spot. A blind spot would be someone's driving, they cut me off, or like I give them the bird, then I start chasing them. Now, the way I react or respond to situations sometimes gives us the indication that we have a blind spot. So it shows up how we handle our employees. It shows up how our revenue is flowing. It shows up how we even extend to our relationships, which one of the biggest blind spots that most leaders have is what happens at home with their partners and their relationships.
Gotcha. What I'm hearing, what I'm internalizing is it actually becomes self-sabotage.
Exactly. You think about most of us, all of us. I mean, I've had a lot of tremendous success in my life, right? And because of personal blind spots, I self-sabotage. Meaning, I remember when I was doing over $1 million in sales and when I was in financial services, and my wife came to me and says, Curtis, man, wow, you just nailing it. It's so easy. And I looked at her, I'm like, what are you talking about? This is hard and this is difficult. That was still a blind spot. There was something that I had been carrying around for a while,
right?
That even though I had tremendous success, as soon as I hit a plateau, which is an indication that there is a value misaligned or something deep inside of us that's preventing us from continuing to do what we do, we get out of flow. We like stop doing what we're doing. I was trying to maintain my weight, right? And as soon as I got to like 198, I was trying to get 195. As soon as I got 198, I stopped eating right. I stopped exercising. I stopped doing the things that I was doing to actually get to that next level. And that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. And I just want everybody to understand, because I'm totally following you here. The effects of these self-sabotage are usually really subtle. You have no idea that this is happening, right?
That's the thing. That's why they're hidden.
Yeah.
This is the thing about it, Rob. Most of us don't understand that we're all run programs. This is a program that we've been running. And this programming that sometimes we're still running is programming that we got from age 0 to 7. So you were in the grocery store and you were a child and you picked up a toy and your mom says, "We can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees."
And that affects your thinking of money for the rest of your life.
Basically, that one incident, offhanded, really nothing that emotional about it. Now, when you want to make, you're going from a high 5 figures to 6 figures, you get to that point and you don't remember, but your
Yeah.
actions now says, "Oh, money don't grow. Money is hard. Money is just for rich people. Money is whatever definition that we give for money." For me, I grew up in a household where my father was a preacher. He was more of a fire and brimstone preacher. So every Sunday I heard about I'm going to hell. So I'm scared and I'm frightened. But it had a conflict for me being successful in me utilizing the power of my mind, understanding that it's all in one thing. But at the time, man, it did a number on me because of the fact that rich people are not good people. All this stuff that we gather when we're younger that still affects us now as adults.
Wow, powerful. You created something called the LGET Mindset framework. Yes. Tell us just a little bit about that and what inspired you to create it.
For me, my higher power is God, and yours might be universe, might be whatever it is. It's okay. It's just a label, guys, so don't get upset. But the whole idea is I was asking God, hey, what is this thing all about? What is it that drives behavior? What is it that would allow us to continue to move forward in the midst of trials, tribulations, setbacks, heartbreaks, and failures? What is it that drives this? Or what is it can we do? I read a book called Many Lives, Many Masters by Dr. Weiss. And I got from that book that this life is all about learning. Meaning that if we can look at a situation and figure out what can we learn from it, and how can we now grow from what we learned, and we can expand and we transform. It's always a continuous process, but the learning part is actually uncovering what is it that drives our behavior, these blind spots that's actually preventing us from becoming the best version of yourself. And so I now just utilize that particular framework with all my coaching. Is we always learning, we're always growing, we're expanding, and we're transforming.
Awesome. And when you're working with clients and you're applying the framework, what kind of results come out of this?
Amazing, really, because of the fact that some of the feedback is, Curtis, I've gone through talk therapy, I've gone to this type of therapy, I went all of this stuff, and you released this in less than sometimes 10 minutes, literally. Because of the modalities that I use, most coaches start with more cognitive type coaching, which is not a bad thing. It's just a thing. That's how they do it. Basically, but I look at it like this. If we set a goal and you got baggage, that means that your goal is set on baggage. That means you're going to be highly likely to sabotage later on because of the fact that it's built on baggage. What I do is we get rid of the baggage and then we bring in on the goals later. So it's like because I do use hypnotherapy, I do use neurolinguistic programming and mental and emotional release, we can get rid of these beliefs of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, sadness, guilt, shame, anger, usually 10 minutes per emotion that a person is experiencing in less than 10 minutes.
Let's just assume I'm a client of yours. I went through the framework with you, right?
Yes.
We worked together on that. I'm a business owner and I'm a father and I'm a husband and I'm a friend. Starting with the business side, because this is all about business and the New Talent Playbook. But so starting with the business side, what has happened to me? What can I now do? And based upon what you've seen, the results you've seen with your clients in the past.
One client I was working with, and that particular one is on my site. She was able to now get opportunities that she never thought possible because it's something that you've been carrying around and it's blocking you. So some clients, we were just doing some quick work, and as soon as we finish, we release some energy around money. As soon as we release that, The next day, she was able to get on and think she got a job that she's been looking for, trying to get on for years. She got on it immediately because now she was free to come and see, and their energy changed. Some individuals got more speaking gigs immediately. So what happens is that your attraction is changed because your energy changes. I mean, when you show up at home, your spouse sees you differently. So it's like sometimes we need to fix somebody else. No, we start with the person in the mirror, the man in the mirror. Things around us change because our perception changes instantly because you are showing up different. People see you different, they act towards you different, and then everything changes. It could be as subtle as your kids now having like, wow, what changed with dad? They can't really put their finger on it, but they know that something is different about how dad is now showing up for them.
The reviews are in, and leaders are calling Rob Levin's new book a game changer. The New Talent Playbook, the ultimate guide to building your dream team, is now available, and it's your roadmap to winning the war for talent and scaling with total confidence. Don't just take our word for it. Order your copy today and see why it's a must-read for every SMB leader. Find it on Amazon.com or learn more at thenewtalentplaybook.com.
I guess jumping ahead just a bit, most of our audience are business owners. When it comes to leading teams, what mindset shifts will make the biggest difference in terms of how they are, in fact, leading their teams?
Well, you think about a leader, and everybody, think about the perception of your company is you. How you see and how you manage your individuals is all about you. So it's always, to me, important to work on the leader first, and then everything trickles down. Things don't normally trickle up, it's going to come down. So now, as a leader, you no longer are leading with baggage. Now you see your employees as individuals. One of the tenets of neurolinguistic programming is that respect the person's model of the world, meaning that now my perception of the world is just my perception, is not true. In a book called Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, he says we get over 2 million bits of sensory information coming to us every minute. Wow. That means that we can only process about 164 bits of that information. So what you see, Rob, and what I see is two totally different things. But if I don't have any baggage, I can appreciate what you see, and now I can approach you totally different. Think about it. I'm a Black American. I was born and raised in Mississippi in the 60s. So my background, my values, my behaviors, all the things that I've learned. I was born in a Christian family. My dad was a fire and brimstone preacher. So my total perception of the world is different. And because when I'm looking at an individual, I see them as being whole. I see them as being an individual. So however they come to me, they're not broken. They basically just not utilizing their resources. So as a leader, if you can look at your employees, at the people who are surrounding you like that, how would you now act towards them? And then how would they respond towards you?
Wow, that's some really heavy and powerful stuff. Let's say that some members of our audience, they're like, all right, I got this, Curtis. This makes sense to me. Where does somebody start to uncover their own hidden blocks?
One of the things I tell people, this is a hard one for most leaders. Allow yourself to be okay not being okay. One of my opinions is it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay not to be okay and pretend you're not. One of the biggest challenges that we have as leaders is really being authentic with ourselves, being saying, hey, this is not okay. I'm not okay, meaning that there's something in my life that's not working, and it's okay that it's not working. So allow yourself to see, sense, and feel that. Sometimes we do feel fear. I'm not fearful, and we don't have to take on the label of being fearful, but when we get into certain situations, we feel fear. So we get in certain situations, we feel sadness. We get in certain situations, we feel like we are inept. That's okay. So one of the biggest things I tell leaders and individuals is, number one, acknowledge whatever you're feeling. because a feeling is just an emotion that's trying to communicate with you and leave. So as soon as you get that feeling and allow yourself to be in it and sit in it and not try to suppress it, try to throw it away, try to drown it out, you just allow yourself to be there in that moment. Then what happens is then your body now says it's safe for you to be you. And you take some deep breathing is always good. Your parasympathetic nervous system is now activated. Then you can think. Then once you can think, ask yourself specific questions. What is it that I need to know? What is it I need to do? How can I now move forward from this? So they can instantly start to uncover some of these things themselves just by being with themselves and being authentic that something is off and is okay and not hide from it.
Yeah. So accept the discomfort, be vulnerable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bring it down. And then your mind has the ability to process what's going on in a rational way.
Absolutely.
We're making decisions all day long. We had another guest here a few weeks, maybe a few months ago at this point, Rob Dubay, says, are you making decisions based on fear or love? And it's night and day in terms of the results you're going to get out of those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Using that analogy, right? So if how are we making decisions? In a moment, but if we don't ever stop, right? Just stop. And one of the hardest and most difficult things that most of us have, including me, is to stop, and be in the silence for a minute or two or three and allow ourselves now to bring up within a thing. My philosophy and my belief is that everyone has all the resources within themselves to become the best version of themselves. It's just now tapping into that power. And the way to do that most of the time is just in silence and allow your imagination, allow your mind, your higher self, your godlike self to kind of speak to you and then take inspired action on that. And great things start to happen when we do that.
Yeah. Wow. This has been absolutely incredible, Curtis. If you go back 15 years ago, if I would have been listening to this conversation, I'd be like, this is kind of woo-woo, right? I want to focus on driving revenue and increasing cash flow and stuff. And I could tell you, as I've gotten a little bit wiser as I get on in years, that really this is the stuff that is either holding you back or is really help propel forward.
And it's true. So the thing about it, what I'm talking about, most successful leaders do. They just do it naturally, or they've learned it in here and there. Like you said before, this is where it starts. Most of us know strategy. Most of us know techniques and tactics and all of these things. And we still hitting the brick wall. What is it then? If you know what you know and you're still not getting what you want, what is it preventing you from getting what you want? It's your mindset. It's coming back to the mindset.
Awesome. And thank you for sharing this with our audience. Curtis, where can people find out more about you and the LGET Mindset framework?
They can visit my website at either www.curtismccullom.com or Bespoke Human Potential Coaching. They can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm also on YouTube, Instagram. They can kind of reach out to me. You can get a 15-minute clarity call or introduction call with me from my website. And also we can do a 30-minute call if you're looking for deeper transformation, either in sales or in personal transformation.
Awesome. Curtis, thanks again. And looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening. The New Talent Playbook podcast is brought to you by Work Better Now. Don't forget to review, subscribe, and download the workbook for this episode at the link below. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on LinkedIn at the New Talent Playbook Podcast or visit thenewtalentplaybookpodcast.com.